And last but not least, we have this car right here, the 2006 Porsche Cayenne. I bought this car back in July of this year. I plan on keeping this one for a pretty long time, you know, at least as long as it'll go, obviously with proper maintenance and everything like that. What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel and Happy New Year to everyone. I do apologize for a bit of absence on YouTube recently. It's been a very eventful holiday season, especially in my automotive garage space, as you can probably tell. And as you can probably tell by the title of this video, this is my new daily driver. This is a 2006 Audi A6 Avant. And I just want to give you guys a full tour and walk around to this car, and especially give you guys some updates in the story of how this car came to be. So I think the very last video that I posted on the channel last year was talking about all my previous cars and giving a quick update on the old 2006 Porsche Cayenne that I had, and I guess I must have jinxed it in that video. Probably a couple days after that video was posted, the car sprang a pretty massive coolant leak. I was driving home one night and the coolant light came on, and when I checked the reservoir the next morning, I'll go ahead and see if I can throw some pictures up that I took, but the reservoir was completely empty and whatever fluid was in there was pretty dirty and nasty. And every time the car would sit overnight, pretty much all of the coolant would drain out of it. And obviously that was a concerning problem. I went to the shop and they ended up diagnosing it as a broken thermostat housing. And on the 3.2 Cayennes, if you do a little bit of research, the thermostat housing is actually at the rear of the engine, surprisingly enough. And they also quoted that the rear main seal was also leaking. And actually, when I crawled onto the car myself to go check that out, I did see that there was a bit of oil kind of around that area as well. So the cracked thermostat housing, as well as the repairing the rear main seal, those two big items, I was quoted around $4,500 to fix those. Now, I know you guys might be saying to go shop around or maybe try a different shop or even try the repair myself, but unfortunately, I don't really have the time or the resources to do that. And as you guys would probably tell by that repair cost, the car was essentially mechanically totaled. I bought the car for $4 grand, and having to put another, you know, the price of the car basically to fix it was not really something that I was willing to do. So I ended up listing the car for sale, kind of with all the issues disclosed, obviously. And an enthusiast came around and actually wanted to buy the car, so the car is sold. So that car is officially off the channel now, out of the garage. It was a great car. You know, I think I jinxed it in the last video, like I said, talking about how long I wanted to keep it and how good of a car it's been. But I took a gamble. Obviously, it was an older German car with a kind of spotty kind of maintenance history. So something was probably bound to go wrong at some point. So as you would expect, that did leave me carless during the couple days during the holiday season. I was kind of rolling around in a rental car, but I still was looking for a new daily driver. And almost by chance or by sign or whatever you like to call it, this car popped up for sale on Facebook Marketplace, and long story short, here we are. This is my new daily driver. I just want to give a huge thank you and shout out to the seller of this car, Dan, if you're watching this video. He was extremely knowledgeable and really nice and knew a lot about the platform and everything like that. So huge shout out to you for taking great care of this car. So with all that being said, guys, this is my new daily driver. It is a 2006 Audi A6 C6 Avant. I'm really excited for this car in a lot of ways, but overall, just to be back in another Audi. I've had 3 Audis, the S4, the S5, and now this car. And if you want to count the A8, that was also in the family, that technically counts as 4, I believe. But overall, I'm just excited for this car. This is my first station wagon. I do have the original window sticker, obviously, right here. Shout out to Dan again for having all the records and everything. And we'll go through some of the options on this car, the mileage, the condition, everything like that. So starting right up front here, and I do want to apologize in advance, the car is a little bit dirty, but I figured I'd show the car as is because it is my daily driver, and it is, you know, obviously been snowing, as you can see in the background and everything like that. But starting right up front here, I love the way the C6 A6 looks. This is the pre-facelift model, so it doesn't have any daytime running lights or anything like that, but it does have these really nice HID headlights. These were actually refinished or replaced by Dan, the previous owner, and they look amazing. They're crystal clear at night. Really nice visibility. They also have a self-leveling that'll go up and down. This car also has a new front grille that was replaced, and it's kind of interesting because this grille, I don't know if it was like specifically designed for US license plates, so it's kind of weird how I only have one screw in, but the holes don't exactly line up right there, so I'm gonna have to figure out a better way to mount this license plate, maybe some tape or something like that. I don't really want to drill into this fresh new plastic bumper here. See, the bumper's kind of popping out a little bit right here, which is totally fine. I've actually seen this on a couple other C6 A6s. I'm not sure if some of the clips in that area fail or something like that, but overall, no chipping paint, no kind of huge rock chips or anything like that. Taking a look at the hood here, there is one thing I'd like to show you guys. Hopefully you can see there's kind of these streak marks right right here, this is all salt and dirt right there, but these streak marks right here, I'm not exactly sure where those are from. I'm kind of hoping a one-step polish or something like that would be able to remove those in the future, but if not, no big deal. And if we move along to the side of the car here, you can see these 17-inch wheels. These are not my favorite wheels, to be honest with you guys. They do have really nice tires on them. I believe these are Michelin all-season tires. They're 245s by 17, obviously. But if anyone has any wheel recommendations, please let me know in the comments down below. The rotors and pads were also replaced very recently as well by the previous owners, so they are in excellent shape. If you get a quick look at the suspension here, in pretty good condition as well. It's a little bit tough to tell. But if we continue along the side of the car here, you can see no major dents or dings or anything like that. There's a couple scratches and stuff in the paint, but obviously that's to be expected with an almost 20-year-old car. I love the aluminum kind of window trim surround right there. Moving along to the rear of the car, which is the coolest part of the car in my opinion, being an Avant station wagon, whatever you like to call it. There's a ton of space back there, which we'll get into in a second, but the condition of the body back here is excellent as well. You can see these taillights are full LED. But I do want to make note to you guys that this left inner part right here is a little bit hazy. It's tough to tell with the dirt on it. But apparently those go bad pretty quickly. The previous owner did replace this entire right tail light, which looks really good, but this left inner part is tough to find and really expensive. So figured I'm going to leave that as is for now. It still works perfectly fine. If we go ahead and take a look at the trunk space back here, we'll go ahead and lift the rear tailgate. And as you can see, a ton of space back here. You also have these dividers, which is really nice to kind of secure your items while you're taking turns and stuff like that. They're adjustable. And you also have a privacy cover right here that covers up everything like so. Seats fold down obviously, and if you want to close the tailgate, there's no power or anything like that. There's just a handle, but that's totally fine. Let's go ahead and take a quick look at the rear seat of the A6 here. We'll go ahead and pop the door open, and you can see there's this beautiful tan leather interior on this car. There's also this really nice wood trim on the door panels and stuff like that. Aluminum door handles, obviously. You also have heated rear seats back here, which work. And these seats fold down, obviously, like I said, to give you a ton more space for cargo. Before we hop in the driver's seat and start this thing up, let's go ahead and pop the hood real quick, talk about the engine on this car. And one other really nice design feature on this car, you can see the hood kind of has an overhang on the front bumper. So not sure what the purpose of that is, but it does look kind of cool. If we go ahead and lift the hood up, you can see this is the 3.2 liter V6, very similar engine that was in my old Cayenne. I think it has around 260 horsepower. It's connected to a 6-speed automatic transmission, Audi's Quattro all-wheel drive, obviously. And this car has had a ton of recent maintenance work done as well. The valve cover gaskets were done, spark plugs, oil change, coolant flush. So it's in a lot better condition than the coolant in my Cayenne, air filters, everything like that. This thing is running really, really well. Knock on wood that, you know, kind of stays that way for the foreseeable future. Taking a look at the rest of the interior here, it is also in really good shape. No rips or tears on the driver or passenger seat. The wood grain trim is in good shape as well with no cracking. This car is also optioned with the premium package, so it gives you the Bose audio system, the memory settings for the driver's seat, the auto dimming rear view mirror, as well as the HID headlights. That was $2,500 back in the day. This car also has the cold weather package, so it gives you the heated rear seats for $500 as well. Let's go ahead and hop in the car here and start it up, and I'll tell you guys what the mileage on this car is. No push button start or anything like that, just a traditional Audi switchblade key. We'll go ahead and pop it open like so and put the car in accessory mode to start. And as you can see, this car has 260,590 miles. Unbelievable shape for the mileage, and it's still running very strong, like I said. But let's go ahead and start this car up. We'll just put our foot on the brake, and you can actually just flick the key to fire it up like so. No hesitations, no misfires, fires right up like normal. I do want to talk to you guys about this one thing. That sounds like an absolute bank vault. This is when Audi was at its absolute peak, in my opinion, in terms of quality and design. This car just feels totally solid. There's not a squeak or rattle anywhere on this interior. I'm actually blown away, especially with 260,000 miles on it. Right in front of you, you do also have two very traditional dials, speedometer and tachometer. Obviously, you also have a temperature gauge and a fuel gauge as well off to each side of those. You have a very simple display in the middle there. You can't customize it outside of that menu right there, but it does give you the temperature and distance to empty and stuff like that. You also have this kind of ugly, in my opinion, this 4-spoke steering wheel here, but it is heated. There's a kind of a hidden button behind this spoke right here where you can use to turn that on or off. This car, I don't believe the steering wheel heating works, unfortunately, but it is nice that this car was equipped with that feature back in the day. Moving along the rest of the dashboard here, you can see this is the very old and outdated infotainment. No Apple CarPlay or Android Auto, but the previous owner did install a Bluetooth audio module in the glove box right there, so that does help bring it up to modern standards a little bit. But if we move down a little bit here, these climate controls are a little bit confusing. You have to kind of tap each button like so to go into the various menus. This car also has 6 level heated seats, which I think is a little bit excessive, but kind of cool nonetheless. And as we move down here, the rest of the wood grain, like I said, is in very nice condition. These are all the controls for the Audi MMI down here. You can see the scroll wheel actually goes in the opposite direction of what you were expecting. So if you want to go down in this menu right here, you actually do not turn it to the right, you turn it to the left. So it's a little bit counterintuitive, and I think Audi fixed that in future models here. You can see some nice wood grain trim right here. Obviously all the cubbies and everything still work. This is obviously the old school gear selector. You'd put it in drive like so. There is a sport mode down here as well as a manual shifting. There's no paddles or anything on this steering wheel. Putting it into reverse, there is also no backup camera, so you have to be a little bit careful when you're going into tight parking spaces. But overall, guys, like I said, this interior feels extremely solid and really well put together. It's obviously not up to modern standards in terms of tech or anything like that, but honestly, this thing has pretty much everything you would need. And really, there's nothing on this interior that I think is broken. Obviously, there's a couple like chipping pieces of plastic and stuff like that, which is to be totally expected with the mileage and the age, but overall the condition in here is excellent. But all that being said, guys, let's go ahead and shut the car off here and conclude the video. Well, guys, I hope you enjoyed this huge update video introducing my new daily driver and giving you guys a couple other updates on the channel and everything like that for the garage. If you did enjoy this video, please be sure to give it a big thumbs up and subscribe for a ton of cool content on this car and many others coming very soon. And I'll catch you in the next one.